And one of the first important meetings of the day has begun. The Defence Minister currently holding a meeting with the Tri-Services Chiefs and the CDS. A key security meeting that's underway at South Block is what we understand. That big development coming in at the moment from South Block, where in fact Rajnath Singh, who left his residence a short while earlier, now that meeting has begun. And in fact, let's go on ground to our reporters. We have Rishabh, we have Pradeep and several of our reporters who are joining us live. Pradeep, take us through what exactly is expected to be discussed at this particular meeting, because we've seen India's response to Pakistan's aggression last night. What are we looking at in terms of planning from here on?
See, Madhav, this is going to be a very significant and very important meeting, because Tri-Services Chief have already got in touch with their commanders there on the ground. They have assessed the situation and tried to review what really had been the situation last night when the aerial intrusion was there from Pakistan side, but they were able to thwart that, and that they are going to discuss about that particular operation and finally how they were able to unleash attack on different Pakistan cities. But now the more important thing is that if there is going to be further escalation from Pakistan side in such a situation, what should be the strategy of Indian Armed Forces, how they have to deal with that situation, because India doesn't want to escalate a situation. India doesn't want to climb on the escalation ladder. But yes, India wants that Operation Sindhu to continue, because there are still several terror training camps, and already we have seen that Pakistan had been in complete denial mode. Instead of taking action against those terrorists operating from Pakistani soil, what they had been doing is they are trying to provoke India. That we have seen that how they had been trying to target civilians by opening mouths of their guns along the line of control. They are trying to push in terrorists from the international border. And besides that, there had been aerial intrusion also in Jammu and Pathankot, as well as Rajasthan and Gujarat sector. So what they are trying to do is they are trying to provoke, because they want to inflict casualty. One, they are trying to target our brave hearts. They are trying to target civilians, because they want to destabilize situation, because Pakistan is something very good at. They are trying to do that only. And right now the meeting that will be taking place here at South Block, in that meeting they are going to discuss various things. Besides this, Rajnath Singh also will be meeting today DRDO chief at about 11:30 or quarter to 12.
We'll get to that, Pradeep. But right now, as far as when it comes to this muddle and back-to-back meetings that have been taking place, we'll be focusing on that. Rishabh is also connected with us right now, as we are standing by for the updates to be shared by the Government of India. Back-to-back meetings that are also being taking place, and the Prime Minister, Rishabh, is being continuously apprised of the current situation.
Well, what we are given to understand that Prime Minister is being apprised of the current situation on ground, as well as situation beyond LC and IB as well. And what we are given to understand that Prime Minister is being briefed real time. Right now, we can confirm to our viewers that Raksha Mantri is going to hold back-to-back meetings inside South Block, where we are stationed right now. He's going to meet CDS. He's going to meet the three service chiefs as well. Before that, he's also expected to meet DRDO chief at 11:30. So back-to-back hectic parallels happening at the South Block before Raksha Mantri goes and briefs Prime Minister in totality.
All right, more updates coming in. Rishabh, stay with us, because amidst the unabated provocations by Pakistan along the line of control, the Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha is all set to visit Uri sector today. Now, this is a visit that comes at a time of heightened tension in the region, where cross-border shelling continues to impact both military and civilian areas. The Lieutenant Governor's visit is expected to assess the situation on ground and strengthen efforts to ensure the safety and the security of local residents. Taking this across to Pradeep Datta. Pradeep, very significant that the LG is going to be visiting Uri amidst all of this incessant shelling coming in from Pakistan side.
See, Madhav, what actually Pakistan is doing, that they are resorted to heavy shelling. Initially there was a small firing, but now they are firing artillery rounds, and they are trying to target civilian areas. Most of these residential areas that have been targeted, they are far away from military installation. That clearly indicate that this is not accidental shelling, but this is a deliberate shelling, where they are trying to inflict heavy casualty of the civilians, because they want to divert attention of administration. Because once there will be loss of civilians, that means administration will definitely try to evacuate them. They will try to take them to safer places. That will be more work for them, and this will be a diversionary tactic from their side, and they want to push in terrorists into this side of the border. That is basically their strategy. Lieutenant Governor will be visiting Uri sector, because Uri sector they had targeted many of the houses, so he'll be interacting with the people, also try to ensure that all sorts of help is to be provided to the people putting up in that area. That's really very important, because at this critical juncture, when the head of the Union Territory will be visiting, obviously the people will be feeling very good, and they will try to ensure that the people are taken to safer places in case there is a problem, because already the artillery shelling is continuing from other side. And besides this, Omar Abdullah has already travelled to Jammu region. As the Chief Minister, he will try to review the situation on the ground in Jammu region, because already there was a meeting that was
updating that he has now reached Jammu, and looking at the ground situation and taking stock of the situation is something that the Chief Minister would be doing. Meanwhile, the LG is expected to meet the families who have been affected because of this non-stop shelling that has been taking place in the border regions as well. But M. Marshal Kapoor sir, as you were also talking about how India has the upper hand here when it comes to these tactics or these diversionary tactics and deception plays that Pakistan has been playing. How do you believe that India is countering them to this level of intensity?
We understood. We know that today the drone warfare is the current important way of conducting warfare. And so I think we anticipated that Pakistan believes first it has most faith in its Air Force. So the Air Force cannot go in just like that with a very, very strong air defense system that we have set up. So it is to first test the waters with drones, and so it would send drones. And with the kind of integrated counter drone setup that we have established, it thwarted the first move of Pakistan in terms of drone warfare. And that has put Pakistan on a completely back foot. What a lot of people are talking about is S-400 and MRSAM. But I think it is time to recognize the efforts of our own indigenous defense manufacturers. The drones, so many of them, I think it would not matter how many came, whether 30 came or 50 came, but the fact that most of them have been neutralized is a measure of success of our indigenization. We have, I think the services have inducted many indigenous counter-drone systems. And when we talk about another indigenous air defense system is Akash missile system. Right. And so these two systems are highly potent against these threats. Once this is done, now Pakistan is in a quandary as to what is the next step it take. If I take you back to Balakot, what happened after our strike? They came and they tried to conduct a air-to-ground strike against some targets in the Jammu region, but it failed. But they took it as a notion of victory to tell their people that yes, we have managed to drop weapons where we intended to, while that was completely untrue. It is a similar notion of victory that they are searching for at this point in time, which is becoming increasingly difficult for Pakistan as a nation and its leadership, the deep state or the military leadership, which wants to extricate itself, but it is finding it very difficult to have an exit route.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very interesting at the way that you presented it. And, if I can bring you on this, Colonel Ramchandran as well, very, very significant that, the Indian defense system, it's actually in a sense being tested for the first time. We just got it about 4 or 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, and it's proved to be highly effective. I'm talking about the S-400. When you integrate that with the Akash and all the systems that we've been discussing, it's proved to be virtually unimpregnable. The question now is, what does Pakistan do? As he said, Pakistan is in a quandary. Does it go for conventional warfare? Does it go for drone and missiles? What does it do, and what is the way that it can convince its public that it has actually been able to counter India at a time when the loitering munitions and those videos have gone viral across Pakistan?
Let me answer your question with another question, and I can 100% tell you none of you will be able to answer it. Who is taking the calls today in Pakistan? Who is in charge? There is a war on, right? Is it the ISI? Is it the Prime Minister? Is it Asim Munni? We don't know, honestly. So they are a complete state of chaos. And whoever it is has clearly taken leave of his senses. Because when you talk of a Hamas-style attack, then you must also think of the Israeli-type response. and which we are already giving them. Okay, so somebody is clearly, you know, is gone into a suicide mode. One. The second thing I want to say is, you were talking about deception. We did that deception in Balakot as well. They thought that we are going to actually launch our aircraft from closer to the border, but you know where it was actually launched, from far away from the borders. Deception has taken place here. On 7th evening, on 7th May, we were supposed to have our mock drills, and everybody was, you know, preparing for it. And what happened on 6th early morning, we go and, you know, strike their 9 bases. So we are ahead everywhere in the spectrum.
The upper hand that you are talking about mainly, as it is clear. Yes, it is visible there. Of course, as we are looking at now, what happens next? Because back-to-back meetings, as Pradeep has been also pointing out, the DRDO chief meeting that is also expected to happen, because we are looking at these back-to-back meetings that are taking place, Pradeep, and this is coming at a time when the country is facing the security challenge coming in from Pakistan side. Now, of course, India has the upper hand here, but what would be the next move to counter Pakistan? That is something that the Indian forces will now decide, because they have been given a free hand when it comes to how they will deal with Pakistan.
Yes, you are absolutely right. That's what actually today they will be discussing in the meeting, that what will be the Indian strategy once there is going to be further escalation from Pakistan side, because Pakistan is trying to climb that escalation ladder. But India doesn't want to do though, but India will not bow down before Pakistan, but India is going to give them a perfect response. Already we have seen nothing seems to be working for Pakistan army. They've came for aerial intrusion, they failed in that. They tried to infiltrate terrorists, even that was also thwarted. Not only that, they tried to send swarm of drones. All those drones were shot down by the Indian aerial defense system. So after that, India launched strike on many of the Pakistani cities.
Absolutely. Pradeep, stay with us, because Rishabh is also joining us. Now, Rishabh, this is very important from the perspective of India's own defense preparedness. Clearly, India has, has its own defense production capabilities. The DRDO, of course, leading that when it comes to the public sector. A lot of private sector participation also, but clearly the DRDO and various other agencies would have to now be put into service when it comes to India to plan for any kind of eventuality, whether it is a conflict that goes on for a medium or a longer term. We will have to be prepared as far as our own agencies are concerned. Rishabh.
Well, definitely, Madhav. These are the moments where we invest in, agencies like DRDO. And the DRDO, the BHEL, the way they have helped us in last 36 hours, no one can deny that. Akash Tir system, the way it hit every incoming object, any incoming flying object from Pakistan is incredible. So Raksha Mantri is meeting DRDO chief. Further discussions will happen. Also, how strategically these weapons can be mobilized from one place to another in hour of need will be discussed. What is the capacity of DRDO from here on to produce these equipments is also going to be discussed. Also, what we are given to understand that DRDO chief is going to put forward a plan to Raksha Mantri, and the plan to how to put things, what are on priority, what can be right now.
The example of India coming together. This is the unity, this is the strength that has now been shown. When it comes to the time of crisis, India is united and will deal with any eventuality. We're going to head into a very short break. This is a live, comprehensive and continuous coverage you're watching on Times Now.